In the heart of Tokyo, nestled near the waterfront of Tokyo Bay, lay the Tsukiji Wholesale Market, a sprawling labyrinth of activity that once stood as the world's largest seafood market by volume. For much of the 20th century, Tsukiji was more than just a marketplace. It was the central hub where Japan's vibrant fish trade converged and radiated out, shaping culinary traditions and influencing global seafood commerce. Each day before dawn, as the city still slumbered, the market came alive with an energy unlike any other. Vendors, fishermen, and distributors gathered in a flurry of activity, setting the stage for the famous tuna auctions that drew bidders from across the globe. These auctions, fast-paced, intense, and meticulously choreographed, became iconic symbols of Tsukiji's unmatched role in Japan's food ecosystem. Japan's love affair with seafood is woven into its history and culture, with fish and marine products holding a vital place in everyday diets and special ceremonies alike. As an island nation, surrounded by some of the world's richest fishing grounds, Japan developed a deep culinary expertise centered around fresh seafood. This made Tsukiji not just a market, but a cultural institution, a nearby source of life-sustaining nourishment, and a testament to Japan's connection with the sea. The market's location was strategic, situated in Tokyo's Chuo Ward, close to the bustling Ginza district and the inner harbor. This proximity to both the city's consumers and its fishing fleet made Tsukiji the perfect point of distribution, where fresh catches were quickly moved from boats to buyers, and eventually to dinner tables nationwide. Inside Tsukiji's vast complex, hundreds of stalls and shops operated in synchronized rhythm. The market specialized in wholesale sales of fish, shellfish, and a variety of other seafood products. Auctions began in the early morning hours, most famously for bluefin tuna, one of the most prized catches. These events required precise coordination, as buyers needed to inspect the quality and freshness of each fish in mere moments before bidding. The atmosphere was electric. The sharp calls of auctioneers, the shuffling of feet on wet floors, and the gleaming bodies of fish displayed on beds of ice all painted a vivid picture of efficient commerce and tradition. But Tsukiji was not only about auctions. It housed an extensive network of wholesalers, retailers, and restaurant suppliers. These entities worked together to ensure seafood was handled correctly, preserved in optimal conditions, and delivered where it was needed. For many Tokyo chefs, Tsukiji was the ultimate source of ingredients vital to Japan's renowned culinary artistry, contributing directly to the quality of sushi, sashimi, and countless other dishes loved worldwide. Throughout the 20th century, as Japan modernized and expanded, Tsukiji evolved alongside the nation's economy and urban landscape. It became a symbol of Tokyo's status as a global city and Japan's place as a leader in seafood consumption and trade. The market's daily rhythms reflected centuries-old practices adapted to the pace of a modern metropolis. Yet, beneath this dynamic surface, Tsukiji remained rooted in tradition, honoring the relationship between people and sea, a bond that had sustained Japan for millennia. Following the devastation of the Great Kanto earthquake in 1923, Tokyo faced the immense challenge of rebuilding its critical infrastructure, including the bustling fish market, which had operated for centuries at Naibashi. The earthquake's destruction led city planners to seek a new, more spacious, and strategically placed location for fish trade. This decision gave birth to Tsukiji Market, established in 1935 on reclaimed land near Tokyo Bay, designed to accommodate the growing demand for fresh seafood in the rapidly expanding metropolis. Tsukiji's creation marked a turning point in Tokyo's seafood industry, introducing a modern wholesale market system that balanced tradition with efficiency, setting new standards for managing perishable goods in an urban environment. The auction system at Tsukiji evolved into a sophisticated and highly organized process. Tuna auctions, in particular, became world-famous for their speed and precision. Buyers, often representing restaurants, wholesalers, and exporters, gathered daily to bid on individual fish, some weighing hundreds of kilograms. The market's auctioneers used a rhythmic chant called yobidashi to signal bids, maintaining a rapid pace that demanded sharp attention and quick decisions. This auction style emphasized freshness, traceability, and quality inspection, which helped to establish Japan's reputation for seafood excellence. Through Tsukiji's system, enormous volumes of fish were efficiently distributed throughout Tokyo and beyond, ensuring the supply chain operated with minimal delay from ocean to plate. Tsukiji's influence extended far beyond Japan's borders. As global demand for high-quality seafood increased, especially from countries with developing sushi cultures like the United States and parts of Europe, Tsukiji emerged as a critical node in international seafood logistics. Japanese importers and exporters relied on Tsukiji as both a market and a bellwether for global fish prices and trends. In turn, this interconnected network linked Japanese consumption with major seafood exporters from nations such as Norway, Chile, and Canada, creating a complex supply chain that brought everything from Atlantic salmon to South American squid into Japan's marketplaces. Likewise, products caught off Japan's coast flowed through Tsukiji to distribution points worldwide. This intercontinental exchange helped to stabilize markets, set quality standards, and spread Japanese seafood culinary techniques globally. Over decades, Tsukiji's scale and reputation grew, but so did challenges. The original facilities, constructed in the 1930s, began to show their age. Sanitation and safety concerns became pressing, especially given the need to meet increasingly strict food safety regulations. The cramped conditions made it difficult to modernize operations or incorporate advanced cold storage technologies fully. Additionally, the market's location, once ideal for access to Tokyo Bay, became increasingly congested amid Tokyo's relentless urban development. Truck traffic and pedestrian flows often bottlenecked, complicating logistics and increasing operating costs. By the early 21st century, the decision was made to relocate Tsukiji to a new facility better suited to contemporary needs. In 2018, the market moved to Toyosu, about 2 kilometers away, to a modern complex designed with improved environmental controls, larger spaces, and enhanced safety features. This relocation was controversial, facing resistance from stakeholders who valued Tsukiji's history and atmosphere. Nevertheless, the shift acknowledged the realities of a fish market embedded in 21st-century urban life and international commerce. The closure of Tsukiji's inner wholesale market in 2018 marked the end of an era, but also set in motion complex changes in Tokyo's fish trade dynamics. While wholesale operations shifted to Toyosu, a state-of-the-art facility designed to meet modern hygiene and logistical demands, the move also meant leaving behind decades of tradition and a physical site deeply intertwined with Tokyo's cultural identity. Toyosu's new market brought undeniable improvements: larger spaces, advanced refrigeration technology, and greater safety standards. These features have streamlined operations and helped Tokyo maintain its position as a leading global seafood hub. However, some argue that these benefits came at the cost of the unique atmosphere and vibrancy that define Tsukiji. The former Tsukiji site now hosts the Outer Market, which remains a lively area filled with retail shops, restaurants, and specialty vendors. This outer market has become a crucial space for preserving Tsukiji's cultural heritage. Visitors, both Japanese and international, continue to experience the traditional flavors and sights that made Tsukiji famous, from fresh sashimi stalls to knife shops dating back generations. In this way, Tsukiji's legacy persists not just as a memory, but as a living, tactile experience that bridges past and present. Yet, the relocation has also sparked ongoing debates about the balance between modernization and tradition in food markets. Supporters of the Toyosu market emphasize its necessity in addressing public health concerns and urban congestion. Meanwhile, critics lament a loss of authenticity and community character, warning that the industrialized environment sacrifices human connection and historical continuity. This tension reflects a broader global question faced by many cities: how to evolve infrastructure without erasing the cultural practices that define local identities. Tsukiji's story embodies this dilemma vividly. Beyond Tokyo, the market's long-term legacy remains uncertain in several respects. While it continues to be celebrated worldwide as a symbol of Japan's seafood artistry and market culture, the practical role it once held has largely transitioned elsewhere. Toyosu now handles the bulk of wholesale trade, suggesting that Tsukiji's function as a market hub has been replaced, even if its symbolic presence endures. How this balance will shift in coming decades is still unfolding. Economically, Tsukiji's closure has not diminished Tokyo's status as a critical node in global seafood distribution. Rather, it has reconfigured the geography and systems that underpin this trade. Culturally, the preservation of Tsukiji's outer market offers a model for maintaining tradition alongside change, demonstrating that heritage can be honored even amid shifting urban landscapes. For global audiences, Tsukiji's evolution resonates beyond the specifics of fish trade. It highlights the broader challenges cities face when modernizing essential services while respecting historical identity. Markets like Tsukiji act as focal points for community, culture, and commerce, elements that are often tightly interwoven and difficult to reconcile with purely functional upgrades. This story invites reflection on how economic progress interacts with cultural memory and what is lost or gained when institutions move or transform. Ultimately, Tsukiji exemplifies an enduring connection between people and place, showing that even as physical markets change, the human stories, culinary traditions, and cultural significance they foster can continue to inspire and inform.